Welcome,
Hi.
y'all.
Hi.
Hi. This is the Life Unfiltered podcast show with me, Justin Deweese, and my unbelievably beautiful, not trashy looking wife, Ashley Deweese.
You just got right into it today.
How are you today, Boo?
I'm all right. This man right here, before we got on,
Uh-oh.
I said, on a scale of 1 to 10, how shitty do I look? And he goes, a 2. And so I said, a 2. And he said, well, yeah, that means like you're not very shitty looking. I'm like, but I must be a level 2 level of shitty looking. So what does that mean?
A
He
little
tried to
rough
back
around the
his way.
edges.
A little bit. Do
But,
you like my like Cindy Crawford edition?
yeah, not so much.
Not
Listen,
so much. It doesn't look like Cindy. I don't look like Cindy Crawford, or like you're
I
not
never
such a
cared for
big
her, to
fan of
be
it.
honest with you.
Yeah,
She had like a big old horse face.
I she is a very pretty woman. I was
Nope.
little when she was like, in the prime, but yeah,
Now, you want to start talking to me about Stephanie Seymour, who was a supermodel at the same time?
I
Man,
you'd have to
hotter
show
than
me a
bacon grease.
you'd have to show me a picture because
She's the one that ended up marrying Axl Rose for a bit and was in the November Rain
oh,
video.
she is very hot.
Yeah,
Yeah. Note, everyone, note, she's not blonde.
is what it is.
All of his little like ah, they just so happen to be not blonde. It's amazing.
Yeah, because you're the only blonde I care for.
Right.
So all the other
Right.
ones don't even exist.
I see. I see.
Your
There
your
was
boy's
a
spitting facts today.
I was gonna ask you just because just because I thought it would be, something to chat about here in the beginning. Um, what's your biggest win? This is one of the questions I ask my clients every time I have a call with them. What's your biggest win from this past week?
Um, well, I got a couple of them. I followed the meal plan 100%, which is always good. Feeling great.
Same, bro. Same.
Ugh. And the other one is I feel like we executed a pretty successful Mother's Day.
You did. It was a really, really good day. It was a really good day. And let's come back to that. Let's go.
Okay.
Well, your first one, I just want a follow up question with the fact that you said you executed your meal plan, which, yay, go you.
Yeah.
Um, um,
Sizzle fingers.
why is that something that like you choose to celebrate? Like, I'm always intrigued by like what people choose to celebrate, right? Or to say is their biggest win. So like, why was that a win to you that you executed the meal plan completely?
Because, like, obviously, it's not the easiest thing in the world, right? And I mean, it is from the standpoint that we have it spelled completely out. We know exactly what we should be eating: breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, blah, 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 blah. At the same time, there's lots of things in this world that I would like to be putting into my cake hole. Like yesterday, I would have literally killed someone if I could have had a slice of pizza. It's not currently on the docket, so it didn't happen.
Mhm.
But yeah, so I mean that's why, right? It's a,
Yeah.
it's a mental discipline challenge, and I accomplished it, and so I feel proud of myself.
I love it. I think that's something that so many people do not understand. I know in every single program that I offer, that is one of the top things that I work on with women that they don't grasp. And just a little nug here, like when you keep running up against walls in your life with things you're working to achieve, 9 times out of 10, if not 10 times out of 10, it all is going to come back to something that's going on internally, specifically in your mind, because it is a mental toughness type thing. And I can piggyback off of that, you know, for Mother's Day, which was yesterday for us. Obviously, this is coming out a few days after that. But I really wanted an acai bowl from our local fave, Happy Hippie. Again, we're not sponsored by them, but definitely a big promoters of them. But yeah, like I've wanted it beyond, more than just yesterday. But yesterday, here's an additional thing that kicked in, which is another nug that I wasn't just battling like the craving, I guess that's what it would be called, right?
Sure.
The craving for the acai bowl, but I was also battling that it was a special day,
Right.
right?
Right. Wow. It really was a special day. If you're watching this on
Apparently today's
YouTube,
a special day too.
if you're watching this on YouTube, we just had a balloon shower on her screen for some reason. If you're not watching on YouTube, I strongly encourage you to go check it out.
I keep forgetting to go in. Well, I kind of keep forgetting to go into Zoom and figure out how to turn those things off because they keep going off in the midst of my group coaching calls and my one-on-one calls. And like Saturday morning, I had a rescheduled group coaching call for my weight loss intensive clients. And I said I just made a banger of a statement and fireworks went off behind me. And it was like the most, I mean, I got to be honest, it felt pretty sweet. But
Yeah, it's a double-edged knife though, right? Like I was on a coaching call with one of my coaches,
uh-huh.
and one of the guys was talking about how him and his wife had started going through a divorce, and
Oh, and it
one of the other dudes made some sort of gesture, and those balloons floated up, and it's like,
you're like,
"Eh." And he's like, I'm not celebrating, I'm not celebrating.
yeah. So, anyways, yeah, it was a special day. And this is one of the things specifically when it comes to, working on your health and fitness, whether it's weight loss goals, body fat goals, like whatever. Um, we tend to believe that if there is some sort of special occasion, a holiday, a day like Mother's Day or Father's Day, a birthday, what have you, that that means you celebrate with some sort of special food
Right,
or just food, period.
right,
And having grown up in a family that literally used food for anything and everything, celebrations were definitely one of them. So yeah, so it was in my mind that not only had I already, I'd been having several days of cravings for this acai bowl that I love, but in addition, it was Mother's Day. And so there was part of me that was like, well, it's Mother's Day. It's not supposed to be like any other day. I'm supposed to
right.
be able to have something special or that I wouldn't normally have. And so then it went from that to, I mean, you even text me. We message each other a lot, even when we're in our own house. I know sometimes people think that's weird, but honestly, like I feel like whatever works for you, do that, and that works well for us. But he
Well,
messaged
let's be
me.
honest. Sending those messages sometimes allows for a little space.
Absolutely.
So you say something, and I don't have to like, you don't see the urge to like, and I
Right.
can breathe and calmly reply.
I think it benefits us both.
Oh no,
um,
I 100%.
but we can talk about that on another episode, right? Would you write that down,
I don't have note cards this
sir?
time, so you write it down.
What? Um, what was I saying? Oh, you even said to me, you said, "Would you like to go get a happy hippie bowl?"
Right.
And I replied and I said, "That's not on the plan, sir." I don't think I added the sir, but I
No,
said
you
that's not on
didn't.
the plan, and you said, "I know that." And then we carried on.
Right. And I was approaching it from the standpoint of, our plan does allow for some flexibility as far as macros and yada, yada, yada.
Right.
And I was thinking, well, we could figure out a way to work this thing in if it's something she really wanted.
Right, but let me share a little something
Yes.
with that because I think it's important thing. Uh, so that battling went on the majority of the day, even though in my heart of hearts, I knew I was not, it was not an option yesterday. I knew that. I knew I wasn't going to, which is interesting because sometimes we already have made the decision for
Right.
ourselves, but like I created some of my own suffering with that. Even though I'd already made the decision, I'm not going to do this. I didn't like let it go. Like I kept going
Right.
back and forth. Um, but I kept battling that. It was a special occasion. This is what I'm supposed to do. And here's the thing, like we get to define what our experiences look like. And the reality is that we all have been conditioned over the years of our lives as to what things mean or what things should look like. And what most people do not do is as they grow and evolve, as they move into different stages and times of their life, they never redefine those meanings, right? They never
Right.
redefine what that looks like. So for us, Mother's Day, like, well, what does that look like to celebrate me on that day? What does that look like? What does that include? What does that not include? Um, and so we don't need to go into all of that today, but that was definitely something that I battled all day long yesterday. Also, when you offered up going to do that, another uh, another vote for having accountability in your life is now this may not have been you may have been going to join in the happy hippie bowl if I had said yes, but I made the assumption that you were not going to, that you
I
were
would not.
saying, do you
Correct.
want a happy hippie bowl? And so
Correct.
that was something else that I had already assumed, that he's offering for me to get one, but he's not going to get one. And for me internally, that's partially what I use accountability for, is I use it as leverage against myself. It's not
Sure.
that I can't make choices to do things differently than what you're doing, but what I know is that if I'm in something with you and I'm going to make a choice to deviate and you're going to make a choice to stay the course, I'm going to feel worse about myself if I do that.
Sure. That makes sense.
In most cases, I'm not going to feel good about making the decision. And, sometimes people look at that as like compare, oh, well, you're comparing, like that makes him better than you. No, it's not it at all. It's just we both made a decision to do this, and here were the parameters and here were the guidelines, and I'm choosing to deviate and he's choosing to follow through with what we said we were going to do. And I didn't want to feel that way about myself. And so I chose to stay the course. And what is the cherry on top of that, which is often the case, not always, but often? Woke up this morning after multiple days this week of seeing no true data improvement on the scale with what I have been doing this week. And woke up this morning, stepped on the scale, body fat percentage and weight on the scale. It moved in the direction that I
Boom.
wanted it to move. And had I had that happy hippie bowl yesterday, even if it had been within
Sure.
our guidelines, I know from past experiences that probably wouldn't have been the same thing that I saw this morning. And then I would have been really pissed off at myself. So that's just a long-winded story, but I feel like I feel like it's got some important lessons in there. Um, stay the course, stay the course, because it just, more often than not, it's going to pay off. You're going to be glad that you do. And it's really just coaching yourself through a few moments of just kind of toddler like behavior, which is normal, typically normal
Right. We
thoughts,
all have them.
I mean, clearly, like, this is part of what I do for a living, is help others with things just like this. But I too still have these struggles. I just have
Right.
learned how to coach myself through them. So, anyways, you didn't get the chance to ask because I kind of hijacked your
Yeah, you
celebration.
did.
But that was really my biggest win, I would say, for the week, was yesterday.
Good.
Because, yeah.
Super proud of you, Boo.
Well, thanks. I appreciate it. I'm proud of you too.
And that got me thinking as we were talking through that like, and we often see this with the people that we work with, that like we've got the plan. Here's the plan. It's going to work. We know it's going to work because it's worked for us.
Right.
So we know it'll work if you will just follow the plan. And so many people come in and they immediately want to start looking for the exceptions,
Mm-hmm.
right? Oh, well, I've got this wedding, or I've got this whatever, or Mother's Day, or Father's Day, or whatever the thing is,
Mm-hmm.
right? You're looking for those exceptions. And I came up with a clever little
Oh,
tagline for that.
can't wait to hear it.
You can't, I'm going to say it like that.
Okay.
I understand that you probably can, but I'm going to say you can't live an exceptional life if you're always looking for exceptions.
Ooh, I like it.
Yeah, big nug. What
That
up?
makes me
You
a little tingly.
Oh, we may have to stop the podcast short. And I'll
That's
just
what you
whisper,
said last week.
exceptional, exceptional. And it'll be bow chicka bow wow time. That's what we do, gang. We like to take all our clothes off and we hit each other with success quotes and we just get the hibbity bibbity. We put on a Napoleon Hill audiobook and just go at it like animals.
Sometimes you're going to have to dig deeper.
I didn't say it'd be easy. I said it'd be worth it.
Choose your hard.
There you go. She's gonna re-injure herself on this one, gang.
Oh my gosh, we could just sit here. Oh my God, that would be so fun.
That would be
Six.
the opposite of fun if we were actually doing it, by the
Oh
way.
my
That would
gosh.
not be.
No, I don't. Do not apply that strategy. We've
No.
not ever applied it, and I don't even need to
This is
apply
for
it to know that it would
entertainment
be an
purposes
utter
only.
failure. But yes,
This
it
is
is
not
comedic.
medical nor sexual advice. Entertainment purposes only.
Entertainment purposes only. No, I like that a lot. And yeah, like I said, we can intentionally do this on a different episode, but like it is just those are the times where you build confidence,
Right.
because it wasn't easy per se. Well, easy to do, easy not to do, right? It's not even that a lot of the things are that hard in the journey. It's just that they're easy to not do, right?
Right. And to your point, that's how you build confidence, right? Doing the things that you say you're going to do,
Right.
regardless of the challenge of it.
Right, because I feel proud of myself today. Like I have a high level
Right.
of confidence and respect to myself today because we stayed the course yesterday, had a great day after I got over a little bit of moodiness that I knew was being caused by some of that. Um, but had a great day. Woke up this morning, it's Monday. Like the days pass, and I'm not like looking back on yesterday going, "Oh my gosh, like it wasn't like the ideal month." It was a great day. And again, it was just a momentary hurdle that I had to get over, and I did get over it, and now we're on to this week, and I'm excited. I'm in a good place mentally, physically, and ready to go. So let that be a lesson for you to just,
Boom.
you
Love it.
know, stop being a little beep sometimes and just do what you're supposed to do. You'll be glad you did.
And not as, what you said what you're supposed to do, and that's true totally,
Well,
right?
what you said you do.
Right. Do what you say you're gonna do.
Right. Right.
Because
Um, no, sorry.
no, you're right.
No,
You wake up you wake up feeling like shit every day because you're not doing the things you said you were gonna do. And the solution may be as simple as start doing the things that you said you're gonna do.
yeah, and string a bunch of those days together because you
Right.
can't just do it one. I mean, you can do it one time and you'll feel proud and whatever the next day. But if it's a constant yo-yo fest,
Right.
you're not, I mean, it's like stacking one brick and then you take or stacking 5 bricks and then you take 3 bricks away and then you stack a brick and then you take 2 more away. Like you're not getting anywhere. And so that's
Right.
not definitely going to build the
Like
confidence.
Pavarotti on a treadmill, going nowhere fast. That's the old Bloodhound Gang's lyric quote there.
Okay,
Come on.
great. I wasn't like a huge fan.
Oh,
They sang a song about humping. What was it called?
I don't know. Something about doing it like animals.
Yeah.
You and
Anyways,
me, baby, ain't nothing but mammals.
yeah. Anywho, not the bestest song in the world. It's raining today,
It
which
is
we all
raining today.
know that I'm a huge fan of rainy days. I'm a huge fan of rainy days if I have no responsibility. If I have no responsibilities and I can just like lay on the couch, snuggle with you in bed, watch movies with the kids if they're home. I'm a fan. Love it. It's the greatest. Good napping weather,
True
but
story there.
it's not happening on too many days where we don't
Right.
have any sort of obligations
Right.
or
Unfortunately,
responsibility.
today is not one of those days.
Today is not one of those days, but um, the rain is necessary.
The rain is necessary, right? Like you wish that it wasn't, obviously. Like you just said, on a perfect day when we can just sit around and watch movies and
Yeah,
whatever,
there's
not
nowhere in if you were like, "What's your dream day?" I would never describe my dream day as full of rain and cloudiness. Never.
Right. But we need the rain. And I'm not going to break into a full meteorological biological thing
Please
here,
don't.
but
Thank
you
you.
all know that we need rain. The ground needs water, the plants need water, animals need water, blah 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 blah. We need the rain. And so as much as it may suck, you have to appreciate it, right? And this is a really great metaphor for life and the things that you face in life because there's going to be rainy days in your marriage. There's going to be rainy days with your kids. There's going to be rainy days with your health and wellness journey. There's going to be rainy days in everything.
Hmm.
And you can sit around and pout about it and be like, oh, I don't want this rainy day. Or you can realize that's part of it. And without rainy days, A, the sunshiny days aren't quite as awesome. And B, nothing grows.
Well, right. And it's knowing that there's sunshine on the other side of the rain. And again, maybe it's a day, maybe it's a week, maybe it's a month, whatever. But there's
Right.
there's always going to be sunshine on the other side of that. So how do I move through this so that I can get to the other side? And I've been listening to a podcast. I found that we do 15 minutes of cardio warm up before we start our workout, and we do 15 minutes of cardio essentially as a cool down when we finish our workout. And I currently, for the most part, have just been walking on the treadmill during that time. And so I don't really enjoy walking on the treadmill. It gets a little boring for me. Uh, and initially, I was listening to short podcasts because it helps me. Here's a little strategy for you. It helps me to break up the time, right? So we're walking for
Sure.
15 minutes. So I have a couple of podcasts that are like short podcasts, like 4 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes. And so I know if I string like three of those together, that like gives my brain variety, like different
Right.
stuff is happening, but it takes me through that time. But there are some times where I want to have a visual in front of me and I don't want to watch TV. I'm a hater on the TVs in front of the treadmills, by the way.
I get
But
that.
so I will turn on a video podcast and watch that. And it actually is allowing me to, I won't take the time out of a day usually to listen to like an hour and a half long podcast. But I don't know what it is, but I'm like, oh, well, you don't have to do it all in one day. Who
Weird.
knew? So yeah. So anyways, I was listening to a podcast and they were talking about, feelings, right? And I think on rainy days, we get into our feelings. Rainy days can make us feel some type of way. For
Sure.
people similar to me, rainy days make me feel blah. Um, Sometimes it kind of places a damper on me wanting or feeling like being productive. I don't feel high energy, even if I've done some high energy things. So we get all up in our feelings. And the thing is that one, a lot of people are allowing their feelings to determine their actions, which
Right.
then creates the life that they're living. I mean, that's just, it is what it is. And if you pause here for a moment, ask yourself, how often are the choices and decisions I'm making in my day-to-day life based upon my feelings?
That's a good one.
And it happens a lot. It happens a lot.
Oh
And
yeah.
you have to be very self-aware to one, even understand that you do that. And then once you are someone who has that self-awareness, then it's just being very intentional about recognizing when that's happening and being able to be like, wait a minute, am I doing this because this is actually what I want to do, or this is actually what I need to do to move myself toward whatever it is I need to move toward? Or is this something that I'm doing based on the fact that I'm feeling mad or sad or excited and happy, et cetera, et cetera. But they were talking on this podcast how um, we as a society have come to kind of label feelings as bad. Like it's bad to feel
Sure.
sad, or it's like not a good thing if you're feeling depressed or insert whatever. And so what people do is they tend to try to avoid the feelings, right? So like on a rainy day like today, like, oh, I don't want to feel this way that rainy days make me feel. And so what can I do to avoid it, right? Which means I may look for ways to escape or ways to not have to face those feelings, or also have these rules that I've created in my brain that say when I feel sad or when I'm feeling low energy, then I cannot do X, Y, and Z. And the truth is that feelings are not bad, that we actually probably need more work in being able to feel our feelings and
Right.
sit with our feelings and understand that, hey, it's rainy outside and it makes me feel a little sad. And that's okay, firstly, right? Or, hey, I'm feeling, really angry right now after this conversation with my spouse. And that's okay. So that's number one, is understanding that feelings are feelings and they're a part of life, and it's okay
Right.
to feel the feelings, and you should feel the feelings. You should not try to avoid them, because that just creates more stress and shit in your life. So it's okay to feel the feelings. But the second piece is you can still do the things even when you have certain feelings. So even though this weather may have me feeling sad or lower, I can feel that way and still choose to act despite those feelings.
Right.
I can experience a little bit of fear and nervousness before speaking on a stage or speaking on a client call, and that's okay. But I have to learn that I can feel that way and still step up on the stage and speak or hit play on the client call, even though I have those feelings. And I just think too often, we allow, like I said, we allow our feelings. We're either trying to avoid the feelings. And so we make choices to help us avoid the feelings so we don't have to like feel,
Right.
right? Which sometimes is we don't take certain actions, we don't go to the event or we don't do the work. Sometimes it's what can I do to avoid the feelings, in the case of like I'm going to drink to try to like numb myself to that, or I'm going to go eat a bunch of food to make me feel like excited and comfortable instead of having to face this uncomfortable feeling that I don't want to have, right? So we do
Hmm.
these avoidance things. But we have to learn that like I can be sad and still get my shit done. I can be fearful and still go do the thing that I need to do. I can be happy and excited and full of energy and still do the boring daily routine that I need to do in order to move my business forward. Right. And so it's rainy days like this, again, something I have to work very, very hard at, not allowing to infiltrate me and then affect my actions. But we can't allow our feelings to rule the choices and decisions that we make.
Right. Because that'll send us down bad paths. And
Yes.
what you just
Usually.
went through is a master class in all of that, seriously. And I think the important thing that I want to highlight off the tail end of that is for you, dear lifers, I don't want you to think that this is like an easy thing or that you're going to reach a point where it's like, oh, that's no big deal. And you just truck right through it. What she said at the end was to do the work and process through it, right?
Mhm.
To, again, acknowledge the feeling and say, and that's okay that I feel that way. But then to do the things that are going to move you towards whatever it is you want to move towards in spite of those feelings. And it's going to take consistent, regular application, and it's never going to not be a fight.
Mhm.
I mean, it'd be nice if it was, and maybe the fight gets a little bit easier, but it's still a fight.
Well, and it's learning to channel those feelings into something useful. What she said in the podcast, it's Ed Milet's podcast, but it's the episode with Layla Hormozy. And she said she was talking about, a lot of things, but she was talking about like self-care and how self-care has kind of become something that people use as like avoidance of feelings. But she said, what feels good what feels good and what is good for people can be completely different.
For sure.
What feels good and what is good for people can be completely different. So again, what feels good to me on this rainy day is parking my ass, like I said, on the couch or in the bedroom with you and just like watching movies all day. That's what I tell myself that would feel good to do today. But would that actually be good for me? Would it actually be good for me mentally? Would it actually be good for me knowing, I'm getting ready to launch something new and I have clients to take, what am I not doing and what am I avoiding with this
Right.
thing that I'm telling myself would make me feel good? But would that actually be good for me to take that action? The answer is
Well,
no.
and part of that is stepping back, right? And looking at it and going, sure, this is going to make me feel good in the moment,
Right.
but later in the day, tomorrow, how am I going to feel, right? So to go back to your happy hippie experience yesterday, that would have felt good in the moment, but later in the day, it would not have, and today it most certainly would not have,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so that far too often we cash in for that feeling good right here, right now, without taking that pause and stepping back and realizing, oh yeah, I mean I could do that, but tomorrow I'm not going to be feeling good that I did that.
Well, it's a strategy that I use with my clients called the power of the pause. And it's like
Yep.
when you find yourself in moments, just take a moment quickly to pause and ask yourself, am I going to feel good about this choice that I'm about to make 15 minutes from now, 2 hours from now, tomorrow? And it takes you being a flippin' adult to
Right.
do that. You got to pull yourself up by your big girl panties or your big boy undies and be willing to like step back and self-regulate and ask that question. Um, but the other thing I want to say with it is that sometimes we do say, oh, well, this is what I want right now, right? And we want that temporary. But specifically with women, I don't really know how much men do this or not do this. But women, here's the interesting thing about women. Women will make a choice based on their feelings for the temporary pleasure, but the whole time they're making the decision. So let's just say that like they go out, let's say they went out for Mother's Day yesterday with their family and they're like, oh, like I said, like I'm really intent on working on my weight loss goals and I've been really aligned in my actions and behaviors. But man, I really want to have ice cream with my family today on Mother's Day. And so they ultimately decide I'm going to have the ice cream. It's fine. It's not like an everyday thing. I'm going to go have this with it. So they make the decision that they want to do this thing for the day. But so many women, they don't then, once they've made that decision, like they don't go all in with it in the sense that like they have the ice cream, they enjoy the ice cream, they like the way it tastes, they have a great time with their family. No, instead, what they do is they're like, I'm going to have the ice cream with my family because I don't want to miss out on this moment. But then they spend the whole time that they're eating the ice cream with their family all up
Right.
in their head and feelings, feeling guilty or shameful or annoyed at themselves while they're having the freaking ice cream. And I just always say, like, whatever decision that you're going to make, like, make the decision and then own that decision, have the experience. Because if you're going to like make a choice like that, and then yet the whole time you're going to be mentally berating yourself. Like, what's the point? Because you're not even
Right.
really enjoying it anyway. Like, if you're going to do the thing, like, do the thing and enjoy it to its
Right.
fullness. And I'm not saying like overindulge. I'm just saying like actually enjoy it. Because
Right.
if you're just going to like have a shitty time, then you're better off just not doing it in the first place.
Right. Like you're picking the worst of both worlds.
Right. Right.
Makes no sense.
No, not in the slightest. So, anyways, I don't know what got us to this point, but
Rain. Rain drove us here, man.
rain. And the biggest nug for today is yeah, like not allowing your feelings to be in the driver's seat of your life
Right.
choices.
Take a step
Feelings are
back.
feelings are okay to have. It's okay to feel the feelings. You need to feel the feelings. But you can't let feelings be the head honcho of your days. It's not going to end well.
Right. You got to take a step back, practice that power of the pause, and make a rational decision that Dr. Jordan Peterson phrases it this way. He says, make the decision that tomorrow you
Right.
would thank you for.
Right. Right.
And so take that step back, take the power of the pause, and then make the decision that tomorrow you is going to be like, hey, thanks for doing that.
And for anyone listening that's going, man, like all this that you're talking about, like, okay, like I'm picking up what you're putting down, but it sounds like a ton of work. It is. But what I like to say is that you are already doing a lot of work
Right.
each and every day with the way that you are functioning, with the way that your brain is currently thinking. Like
Right.
that work, like you're already putting forth a lot of energy and effort with your current
Right.
ways. It just doesn't always seem like that because you've done it so long.
It's more
Right.
autopilot. Right.
Right. Whereas the things that we may be sharing are new perspectives, are new strategies. And with anything new, it's going to feel a little uncomfortable and hard at first. And it's going to take some time. You got to get some reps under your belt before it feels more normal or you feel more comfortable with it. So either way, there is work that you are doing mentally and
Right.
physically. It's just which type of, which level of work is moving you,
Right.
is a vote in your favor.
Right. You're already making the decisions. You're already having the internal conversations.
Right.
You just need to change those
Right.
and
You
do
need
them
to
a little bit
channel
differently.
them into a more
Right.
positive direction for yourself. So,
Boom.
boom.
This was amazing.
Hey, just happened,
And
I
it's because
guess.
of the rain.
All because of the rain, right? We could not have had this
We
conversation had it
right.
not been raining today.
We embraced the rain
Yep.
and said, "Hey, you know what? We're going to use this to provide value." Instead, we could have embraced the rain and just been watching Netflix right now.
I know.
But no, we're here for y'all.
No, we're here talking to you. All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Like, comment, share. Let's do it.
Always. Oh, well, you know what? Normally you don't even bother with it.
And hey, the reason that we say that is not because we're like, oh, like boost us up. We want you to like, comment, and share because we really do believe that we are bringing valuable information out
Right.
there to help people like you. And so if you are finding something helpful in any of our podcast episodes, there's no doubt that there's at least one other person out there like you that we aren't connected with, that they have never even heard of this
Right.
show and us. And so if you find something useful, you can best bet that there's going to be someone else in your circle of influence or connection that will as well. And so again, this is something that's free. It's the very least that we could ask you to do is just share it with
Right.
someone else. And you know what? It feels good to like share something with someone that could be helpful to them. It just does. So like,
Always.
comment, share. Thank you for tuning in, and we will see you next week.
Boom. She did some sort of weird rabbit wiggle with her nose there. Did you see that? If you didn't, go back like 10 seconds and watch. I don't even know what it was. Like, I can't do it. Weird rabbit action going on in this house today, I guess. Must be the rain. Anyway, we'll see y'all next week for another thrilling episode of the Unfiltered Life Podcast show.